From one game 5 to another now. Cavs and Celtics and a closeout opportunity for Boston on the parquet floor. Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen. Midway through the opening quarter. God bless you.
Thank you.
Jason Tatum just crushes one over the Cavs defense. Tatum was 9 of 16 from the field. Later in the quarter, Darius Garland, on a night he did not shoot it well, makes one. He was 4 of 17 from the floor, tied at 28 after one. Midway through the second, Marcus Morris was sensational off the bench. He had a total of 7 points in the first 4 games. He went for 14 in the first half. And then speaking of weapons, Derek White, 18 points, 6 assists, 5 boards. Celtics tied at 48. Al Horford knocks down the 3. How about White scoring or assisting on 27 of the Celtics' 58 first half points? 10 seconds to go. Tatum, oh, what a shot. And then he stares down the official and waves him off. And Tatum gets teed up. Celtics led 58-52 at the break. Midway through the third, Evan Mobley was dominant. 33 points, 13 coming in the third alone. Cleveland down 9, but they had no answers for Tatum, beating the shot clock. A minute to go in the third. Morris, 5 of 6 from deep, 25 in all. The Cavs down 6, somehow hanging around. But in the fourth quarter, the Celtics pulled away. Horford, with his dad Tito in the house, former NBA player, Dominican great. Celtics led by 9. And then Tatum, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals. The Celtics led by 14. Boston was 19 of 43 from three-point range. Horford goes for 22 and 15. First player with 15 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 threes in a playoff game in Celtics history. Joe Mazzulla, and Boston wins.
Closeout games are tough. It's a level of stress, anxiety, desperation. It takes what it takes. You know, you got to play, 48, hopefully maybe more at times. And at the end of the day, you just got to keep going, and you can't have any expectation. You can't expect to be up by a certain amount. Can't expect to be down by a certain. It just doesn't matter. Like, you just got to play. And so I thought the guys focus on the task at hand. They were very present. This is how the game is going right now. This is what we're doing well. This is what we're not doing well. Continue to chip away at the things you can control and, figure it out. And I thought the guys did that well. Important to take advantage of the opportunities that you have. So it's a gift that we got the rest now because we took advantage of the opportunity that we had. So now we can be grateful for that rest. But you don't know. I mean, sometimes rest isn't good for you. Sometimes it is, but, we'll at least take tomorrow off.
The old rest versus rust conversation, and the Celtics make it 3 consecutive trips to the conference finals. It's Boston's longest streak since they went 5 times in a row with Bird, McHale, Parrish and company from 84 to 88. It's their 6th trip to the conference finals in 8 years. They're the 7th team to do that since the NBA went to conferences in 1971. Each of the previous 6 teams won the NBA finals during their streaks.
This has been a difficult year for us for a bunch of different reasons. And, they never found a time to fold on each other. All they did was figure out ways to compete. When you have as many injuries as we had throughout the season, we had guys going through personal things, and somehow, some way, we found a home court spot going into the playoffs. They gave it everything they had. They understood the moment, the amount of minutes they were going to have to play, and they left it all out there. We just got beat by a team that had to play really well, and they had guys step up, make huge plays, make big shots for them. But I thought our guys did a heck of a job competing.
The series, definitely going to remember it. It stings a little bit for sure, but also takes the pros to it and how I played throughout the series, and try to take that into next season and just build on my game as well and come back just even better.
All about building, and the Cavs season comes to a close. They fail again to reach the conference finals. Cleveland will have the 20th pick in the NBA draft, and a lot of the focus this offseason will be on Donovan Mitchell, who does have 2 years remaining on his current contract, but he has the option to opt out and become a free agent after next season. A substitute for experience, and Al Horford showcased that tonight. Just weeks away from turning 38. He became the third oldest player with 20, 15, and 5 in a playoff game in NBA history. Nicole, the only other players to do it, LeBron and Kareem.
We now welcome in Tim Legler. Look, in the absence of Donovan Mitchell, I think the result in Game 5 for the Celtics almost felt like a foregone conclusion. So now it's the Celtics awaiting either the Pacers or the Knicks. How do they match up against both of those teams?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's been very difficult to gauge Boston's performance, I think, through 2 rounds because they haven't really been in a situation where we genuinely felt they were threatened. So as a result, they've had sort of some underwhelming performances, and they've had a little bit of a harder time putting teams away than we thought. But looking forward, Nicole, it's going to change. If it's the Indiana Pacers, you're going to get a track meet. You're going to get a series that might set a record for attempted threes between the 2 teams. And that'll be a very free-flowing series, I think, dominated by the offense. If you get the New York Knicks, that's going to have a different vibe to it because now you've got a team, I think, that's going to get more into a half-court grind, and execution late game will be at a premium. A big problem for the Celtics against the Knicks would be the offensive rebounding, which we have seen be a major factor in both the Philadelphia series and again in this Indiana series. The one thing about the Boston Celtics, though, if you're looking at a Knicks-Celtics potential series moving forward, Celtics have a stable of guys that can do a better job on Jalen Brunson than anything he has seen to this point in the playoffs in terms of single coverage, which is a big deal. Boston's got 4 or 5 different guys that can do a more than adequate job against him, so that's a challenge for Jalen Brunson if it ended up being the Boston Celtics.
You made an interesting point when we started this conversation because Boston has, at times this postseason, like taken the foot off the gas at odd times. So whoever they play next, do you still give the Celtics the edge?
I do. I'd be very surprised if the Boston Celtics, when it's all said and done, are not playing in the NBA Finals. I think they're going to be challenged in the next round, and they're going to probably face some precarious situations where they're going to have to deliver. And they've got the most versatility in their starting 5. They've got a bunch of guys that play both ends of the floor. I think at some point they're going to get Kristaps Porzingis back, but who knows? Maybe that wouldn't be until the NBA Finals, which would make the next round much more difficult for Boston. But ultimately, I just think the talent that they have and the way that they can hit you with a barrage offensively is a little bit different than anything anybody else has in the Eastern Conference. So I do think Boston will get through, and I think we're going to have a much better feel about who this team is after the first couple games of the next round, regardless of who they play.
And bonus, at least for the next couple of days, they get